Just before this audio begins, this script is written by u/timelypurchase4504 on Reddit. Go support them any way you can, and let's get into the audio. This is a bad idea. No. That's not right. Not bad. Just unfamiliar. There's a difference. Bad ideas don't have me checking the rear view mirror 3 times to make sure my hair doesn't look like I got into a knife fight with a thunderstorm. Bad ideas don't usually have my pulse doing this weird stutter step thing like I'm about to jump out of a moving plane without a chute. This is just me being an idiot in a new and exciting way. I've stared down assassins. I've had guns in my face. I've walked into rooms where every exit was already compromised and still figured out a way to leave standing. And somehow, knocking on a normal apartment door with a tiny velvet box in my hand feels worse than all of that combined. That's humiliating. I should just leave this on the counter, drop it and disappear into the smoke like Bruce taught us. No mess, no scene. No chance for this to go sideways. Because if I hand this to her, if I look her in the eyes while I'm holding it, then that's it. The real mask comes off. Not the helmet. The other one. The one that says I don't need anybody. The one that says I keep people at arm's length and still pretend it doesn't bother me when they leave. My hands don't shake when I'm holding a detonator. They don't shake when I'm staring down a barrel. They don't shake when I'm patching a bullet hole shut with fishing line and bad decisions. So why are they shaking over a piece of silver? Get it together, Todd. It's just a thank you. A sorry for bleeding on your couch. A sorry for scaring the hell out of you. A sorry for not letting me die like some idiot in a back alley. No. That's not all. That'd be easier, wouldn't it? If it was just gratitude. If it was just me paying off some invisible debt because she stitched me up and let me stay and looked at me like I was still worth something even after I handed her every ugly piece of myself I'd been carrying around. But it's not just that. It's stay safe. It's remember me when I'm not around to watch your back. It's maybe if I can't say this right, maybe this thing can say part of it for me. God, I've never done this. I don't even know if I remember how to be this guy. The guy who shows up at a girl's door without bruises and blood and a crisis to hide behind. The guy who brings up something small and sentimental instead of bullets and trauma. One more flight of stairs. That's it. Just walk in, give her the box, and trying to sound like a total complete idiot. Easy, right? Easier than taking down a drug lord. Probably. Don't screw this up, Jason. She's the only good thing left in this zip code. Okay. Just a door. A standard wooden civilian door. No shattered glass. No grappling hook. No stealth entry. No frying pan aimed at my skull because I made a deeply informed tactical choice to crawl through her window half dead in the middle of the night. Still got the dent in the helmet for that, by the way. Pretty sure she aimed for the center mass and just happened to hit my head first. Impressive follow through, though. Most people see the red hood and run. She saw me bleeding on her floor and reached for the nearest heavy object first. Then the medkit. Honestly, can't even fault her priorities. I'm still bleeding all over her life, aren't I? Even when I'm not bleeding on her rug. And here I am, standing in a hallway like some kid about to ask someone to dance at a school he definitely doesn't belong in. Get it together, Todd. It's me. It's Jason. I'm not bleeding this time. I promise. Can you open up for a second? Hey. Yeah, I know. Through the door. Weird, right? Figured I'd save you the trouble of replacing a window latch. Which better be locked, if you learned anything from my last visit. No, don't look so shocked. I do know how doors work. I just usually reserve them for formal occasions. Hostage negotiations and, apparently, whatever this is. Can I come in? Or are you still considering the frying pan option? Thanks. Wow. This is somehow weirder when I'm not halfway unconscious. Usually I come in here leaking from somewhere or you start yelling before I've got both feet on the floor. This is new. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't bleeding. That doesn't mean you get to look disappointed. What? No emergency surgery tonight? No dramatic vigilante collapse? No chance to threaten me with antiseptic while I question every life choice that brought me here? Okay. I deserve that look. Still, little harsh. You changed the lamp. Or maybe I only noticed it now because last time I was one blood loss symptom away from seeing the white tunnel and Bruce looking disappointed in me from the other side. What? That wasn't dark. That was observational. There's a difference. You look tired. No, don't brush it off. You always do that thing with your shoulder when you're trying to pretend you're not exhausted. Like, somehow, bad posture is going to sell the lie better. You've been overworking yourself again. Double shifts. Skipping food. Probably pretending coffee counts as a meal because technically it contains water. You think I don't notice? That's kind of insulting, nurse. Paying attention is one of the few things I'm actually good at. You run yourself ragged, like Gotham's going to fall apart if you clock out on time for once in your life. Like, every life loss while you're not there is somehow your fault. Yeah. That hit, didn't it? I know that look. You carry things like Batman does. Different battlefield. Same martyr complex. You walk into that ER like if you just move fast enough, work hard enough, stay long enough, nobody slips through. And when they do, you blame yourself anyway. It drives me crazy. Not because it's wrong to care. Because it's you doing what you always do. Taking the whole city and balancing it on your shoulder like it doesn't weigh anything. Besides, if you burn out, who's going to patch me up when I make another series of terrible but emotionally compelling life choices? That's the glare. Okay, good. You're still with me. No, I'm good. You don't have to get me anything. Unless you got whatever magic substance keeps you standing after 16-hour shifts and emotionally devastating conversations. Then maybe a bottle of that. We could sell it to the whole Bat family and retire. I'm joking. Mostly. So I didn't come here to bleed this time. Progress, right? I actually came to give you something. Before I lose my nerves and jump out that window anyway, no, don't do that. Don't look at me like that. Like you're trying to figure out if I'm serious. I am serious. That's half the problem. You know what the real embarrassing part of this is? I've had this plan in my head for like 3 days. Different versions, better versions, less stupid versions. And one of them I sound smooth, control, mysterious, maybe a little charming. In reality, I'm sitting in your chair sounding like I swallowed a battery and forgot how human interactions work. Yeah, laugh it up. You're enjoying this way too much. I think that's part of what gets me. How easy you make this feel. Not the talking. I still hate that part. I mean, being here, in this room, with you moving around like it's just another night, and I'm not one bad move away from saying something I can't take back. Last time I was here, I almost didn't make it to your window. Everything was starting to go gray. And when I finally tumbled in, scaring the hell out of you, you didn't call the cops. You didn't freeze. You didn't panic and bolt because some masked lunatic just bled through your living room floor and onto your couch. You got angry. God, you were furious. Stitching me up while lecturing me about reckless disregard for life. My life. Like hope was something you could wrap around Gotham's throat and keep it from bleeding out. I told you it didn't work like that. I told you about the pit, about Joker, about the no-kill rule, and the revolving door it turns Arkham into. I handed you all this ugliness and waited for that look. The one people get when they realize there's something wrong under the hood. But you didn't give it to me. You just listened. You let me bleed out every bitter, half-rotten thought in my head. And then, when I was done, you stayed. On that couch. No judgment. No fear. No lecture I didn't deserve. Just stillness. I haven't felt like that in years. No ghosts, no bells, no clown laughs stuck in the dark corners of my mind. Just you. And that's dangerous. For me. Because now every time I think about leaving Gotham for too long, every time things get ugly, and I'm knee-deep in blood and smoke in someone else's war, there's this voice in the back of my head asking how fast I can get back here. Back to you. So yeah, I brought you something. And no, before you ask, it's not stolen. This time. You're probably wondering why a guy like me would give someone a thimble. Not exactly jewelry store material. Not exactly romantic either. At least, not in the normal world. This was my mom's. She used to keep it in this little sewing kit. Red fabric. Missing buttons, spool of thread all tangled up together like they've been fighting for years and neither side won. We didn't have much growing up, but she fixed everything instead of throwing it away. Shirts, blankets, backpack straps, torn pockets. Me, sometimes. I can still remember sitting on the floor while she worked. She put the thimble on her finger, and it made this tiny little tap every time she pushed the needle through thick fabric. I used to watch her hands more than the TV. Felt like magic back then. Taking something worn out and making it hold together one more time. Guess I always liked people who knew how to repair damage. She used to read to me too. That's where it started. The books. People assume Bruce gave me that. The literature thing. The Shakespeare references. The habit of quoting something dramatic when I'm trying to avoid an actual feeling. No. That came before him. Before the mansion. Before the cave. Before Alfred correcting my grammar and Bruce pretending he wasn't pleased the first time I beat him to the ending of a detective novel. It started in a cramped apartment with bad heating and a busted couch, and my mom reading by a lamp that flickered every time the building coughed. Library books, used books, Missing cover paperback somebody had tossed in a donation bin. It didn't matter. If it had words, she'd read it. Adventure stories, classic, anything with pirates, thieves, lost boys, sword fights, secret doors. For a while, those stories were the only place where the world made sense. The only place where kids like me got to be something other than hungry. Her favorite was Peter Pan. The old one, the book version. Peter and Wendy. She read it enough that I could still hear parts of it if I closed my eyes. There's this moment in it. Peter doesn't understand what a kiss is. Doesn't know how to read that kind of affection. Doesn't know what it means or what to do with it. So, Wendy gives him a thimble instead. A sewing thimble. And after that, in his head, that becomes the word for it. A kiss becomes a thimble. A thimble becomes something tender. Something chosen. Something you carry because someone gave it to you, and that means you matter to them. I didn't really get that part when I was a kid. Thought it was funny, mostly. The boy who can fight pirates and crow and fly, and somehow the thing that throws him is one little gesture of affection. It took me a while to figure out that might have been the most real part of the whole book. Because some of us are good at fighting. Some of us know what to do when it's blood and bone and chaos. But man does something soft. Something that means trust, means closeness, means stay. And suddenly, we've got no idea where to put our hands. My mom used to say stories where how people survive bad places. That if you could imagine something kinder, something better, you could live long enough to crawl toward it. I think that's why I kept reading. Even when things got worse. Even after she was gone. Even when Bruce gave me all the resources in the world, and I still kept sneaking old beat-up paperbacks in my room like they were contrabands. Books were proof that people made it out. That bad places weren't all there. And this little thing, I kept it all this time. Because it was hers. Because it's one of the only things I have that still feels warm when I think about her. Because every time I looked at it, I could hear her voice again for half a second, and remember there was a version of me that believed stories ended differently. I'm giving it to you. No, listen. I know how that sounds. And yeah, maybe standing here holding my mother's thimble like some emotionally compromised Victorian outlaw is not exactly subtle. But you're the one who keeps putting me back together when the whole world tries to tear me open. You're the one who took all the sharp parts of me and didn't flinch. You're the one person in this city I don't feel like I have to perform for. So, if a thimble was a kiss in that story, then I guess what I'm saying is this is the closest thing I've got to one that means something. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Actually, no. There's no maybe. I am absolutely overthinking it. But you, you're the one person I wanted to give this to. Because it matters. Because you matter. And because I think somewhere along the way, my heart already made this decision before I did. I know it's a lot. For a guy who usually shows up with property damage and unresolved issues, this is probably not the most expected move. You're supposed to laugh, by the way. Make this easier on me. Thanks. That helped. A little. Look, I'm not good at this. I don't do soft landings. I don't do polished speeches. I don't do settling down or hope or whatever version of this normal people get to have. I do have contingency plans, escape routes, worst case scenarios. I notice exits before furniture. I trust very few people, and I usually work a hell of a lot harder to make sure no one gets close enough to matter this much. But you do matter. I mean, more than I'm comfortable with. Honestly. You're just as stubborn as Bruce, just as convinced Gotham can be saved if you just care hard enough. It drives me insane. The way you keep talking to carry all of it, like if you rest, somebody dies. Like if you stop moving, the whole city slips under. And the worst part? I think I needed that. I think I needed to know someone still believes it's possible to save everyone. Because if I'm alone with my version of the world too long, everything starts to look like collateral damage. You balance me out. You make me think maybe not every fight has to end in smoke. I stopped going to the cave months ago for Alfred to patch me up. Not because I'm healed, not because I don't need help, because I'd rather be bleeding out on your floor than anywhere else. Because it's you. You're the only thing in this city that doesn't feel like a lost cause. And that scares the hell out of me. Because I know what happens to things I care about. I know what Gotham does to soft things, good things. I know what happens when people become leverage. And still, I'm here. Without the helmet. Holding this stupid little box and trying not to look like my pulse is about to punch through my ribs. So yeah, I like you. A lot more than is strategically sound. Probably more than is smart. Definitely more than I planned. And if that makes me an idiot, fine. Wouldn't be the first time. You're looking at me like I'm supposed to know what comes next. It's adorable and deeply unfair. I don't really know how this part is supposed to go. No, I'm serious. I can interrogate mob bosses, disarm explosives, and break into fortified warehouses with 6 minutes and a zip line. But this is worse. And I'm tired of letting every good thing in my life stay just out of reach because I'm afraid I'll ruin it by touching it. So, come here. Yeah, okay. That was, way better than the thimble metaphor. Don't laugh. I'm trying to have a moment here. God. For a second, it was just quiet. No noise. No ghost. No alarm in my head. Just you. I can get used to this. Which is probably another terrible sign. Hey. You're shaking. And not in the way I just kissed a reckless vigilante with severe boundary issues kind of way. Your heart's racing wrong. That's not nurse for me. I know the difference. Nurse, look at me. What happened? No, hey, don't give me that. Don't give me it's a nothing look. I know that one too. Something's off. I felt it the second I stepped in here. You've been wound too tight all night. What happened while I was gone? A note? What kind of note? No, start from the beginning. When did you get it? 2 days ago? You've got a threatening note 2 days ago. And you didn't call me. Show me the note. Hi everyone, and thank you for listening to today's audio. This is part 5. Holy Lord, this was long. It is 12:32 a.m. T-minus 1 day till I graduate. I am exhausted. Anyway, thank you to my channel members: Elida Sin, Astrid Lemser, Riverwood, Wolf Rider 26, Amiza Michaela, Kenny 29, Mel Star, Tori Hills, Angie, The Poetry Cooker in parentheses, Katie, AJN, Ardent Melody Audios, Red Raccoon, Reed, Anonymous, Grace Roberts, Thunder, Marlies, Stardust 76, Mina, Vic, Rudy Jakarnik, Aaron Johnson, Headphones for Life, Serena 3120, Megan Jane Music, Pip, Julie Arberg, Sugar, Scarlet Whisper Audios, Amanda Gabriella, BBQ the 880, Minji_P, Epicurean Bard, Melancholy Witch, Nikita Maria de Cruz, Yeah Right Pal, Maddie, Psychona, Annalise Winterborn, Chicky Bun, Courtney Reed, Ruby Blue 0910, IE Altair, Mimi Star, Pumpkins, Butterball Pork Bun, in quotation marks, Butterball Pork Bun, The Toy Maker. Wow. Why is that so hard? And my favorite, Eat Shit. Andy Estrada, Cillian Murphy, Hi Woo 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 Woo, and Foxy Cat. Oh, I'm too sleep deprived for this. And then I gotta make sure I record an audio for Monday because I'm moving out on, well, on Saturday, May 9th, which is my graduation. And so I have to make sure I have an audio for Monday so I'm not panicking trying to like unpack all my stuff when I get back home. Oh, I have to pack tomorrow. Well, today technically, not tomorrow because it's Friday. It's Friday now. I'm so over this. I'm too tired. I need to go to bed. All right, good night, everybody.